Hello, everyone. A little bit new song there for the intro. It's called Into Space. So, welcome and welcome to my space. Yeah, welcome, welcome. Hope you have a wonderful work week. Thank you very much, Lexi. Yes, I'm working later today. Oh, thank you. My hair. Thank you. I know my hair is always an issue, isn't it? And the scarf. Yeah, the scarf keeping me warm. A little bit chilly today. I mean, it's cold outside, and yeah, I I'm not enjoying the cold. Not enjoying the cold. So I just came on here briefly. I've sent out two um two emails, and then I did a big post down on the Facebook, and then I thought, holy crap, there's just so much information that with this week, with the energies coming in. And the big part here is Saturn in Pisces. Saturn in Pisces. It is a transit from 2023 to 2026. So it is the Lord of Karma going into the sign of Karma. So there's some really big energies that are going to be at play with all of this. And with the 3 years, with almost 3 years, we're in for some big energy right now uh, with this change. And the most important impact with Saturn and Pisces is to highlight is the fact, as I just said, is Saturn is the Lord of Karma. Pisces, zodiac sign, rules karma. This means that the Saturn transit in Pisces is going to be extremely karmic, just full of karmic energy. We may have to dig into the karmic sludge and work through karmic baggage, old karmic patterns, and have a big, deeper understanding of our karmic lessons. So, those of you who have taken the karmic release workshop with me, I mean, you've done a lot of this work. This means that you might have some triggers coming up during this time. Just an FYI, because it's what Saturn does, it holds you to it. It holds you to that of what you are supposed to be doing. Pisces is spirituality. So we can learn more lessons around our spiritual selves and what it is we believe spiritually. For some, this may mean ditching what you've thought you believed for a long time and coming to an understanding that it was hollow and not true for you. For others, this means becoming more interested in what you believe and if you feel it's the right thing for you. So, in general, we may, it may be more practical in the spiritual matters overall. And we may want to ground our spiritual energy. And that's the whole thing with Saturn being there. Saturn's in water, in ether. So he wants to ground things in. He wants to bring it down. And Pisces is the sign of compassion and empathy. Saturn and Pisces can force us to confront issues around this where we've lacked compassion or empathy can suffer greatly and cause us to suffer as a punishment. So we may have to learn lessons and develop better emotional understanding of this all. So we have a huge, you know, um, palette buffet that's coming in for us, and it is, a 2.5 year cycle. It's not to get scared and go running off to the sidelines. This is about, really taking the initiative to say, okay, this is what I need to work on. This is what I love. This isn't what I love. Um, and this is also where you might have been sort of like not wanting to step fully into something, and then you suddenly do. So that's part of the beauty with this energy. This is an energy that, and I'm talking personally because I want us to look at our personal selves and not get distracted by so much in the outside world. This is about looking at everything that we need to look at. Across the way with this full moon in Virgo, Virgo is about our routines and how we work at things and how we do things. It also has to do with our health. What is our how are we dealing with our health? Now, this is, with that Pisces energy across the way. How are we dealing with our health in emotional levels? What is our emotional sense about our health? How are we conducting ourselves with loving, appreciative energy to our bodies and coming forth into and for our bodies so that we are able to ground and we are able to connect with everything. Now, we also have this Uranus energy that's coming in, especially with this moon. There's a trine over to it. But there's also and I wrote it in my notes. I got to go back to my notes because there's so much coming forth. A semi-square, was it? Mary, you should remember all of this. The full moon is trining Uranus, but Saturn is coming into Pisces, so it's going to be sloppy. So this is the highest degree. This is, Pisces, Neptune there is a high degree. It's a high, and he's going into the later degrees of Pisces. So this is really coming into our truth of who we are and who we represent within that truth of our spiritual selves and coming into that energy. You're going to see, I feel like you're going to see, I feel like there's going to be a lot of false prophets coming out. A lot of people saying, hey, I have the answer, look over here. And you're going to find where others are not going to come out fully, or maybe they're going to hide away. There's going to be some fear and stuff there, but I feel like there's going to be a lot to do with religion coming up. The other part too is that you got to think of this energy of this Saturn, the second largest planet, coming into water. What kind of eruptions are we going to have with water? What kind of things? I mean, we're seeing it. We're seeing things in California. We are witnessing things to do with our water systems. So there's going to be a lot of information coming out about water systems, about clean water, adapting to clean water, new water systems, things like that. And this is also with, and I got with karma. So it has to be truthful with what they're saying. So if anything isn't, it's going to backlash it on them. And then in 2.5 weeks, we have Pluto going into Aquarius. So there is a lot of corporations and things that are going to be dug up in these last couple weeks on the forefront when it has to do with corporations and governments. And are they actually telling the truth with everything that is coming up? Do you follow Ismael Perez? No, I don't. I don't even know. You know what? I can honestly say I don't know who that is. So is ISMAEL. Alabama. I'm just looking him up right now. Oh, I'm talking to somebody online here. He's the author of The Cosmic Origins. Interesting. Books. Let's look at the books that he's written. Are they not going to allow me to see anything with them? He always did. And in an interview a few years back, Rossington said, quote, I thank God every day and night. I'm not receiving or seeing. He's got the secret government, what our government does not want you to know. Oh, interesting. 2007. Ismael exposes the workings of this dark hidden society. Oh, interesting. Huh. He's got some interesting information out.
parents can do to help.
Let me just.
It's the issue on top of every parent's mind.
Interesting.
If this can change activity in the brain, can it then change behavior?
And all that does make sense. When is the right age for a child to start using social media?
I'm not.
How early is too early, and how much is too
Huh.
much? Are you addicted?
Is he?
Addicted, but I do study it often because I'm on it a lot.
I would have to look at it. There's just something very much about the galactic belief. He goes on Arcana Shores with the Wonder Twins. Oh, okay. See, I don't follow the Wonder Twins because I don't like those two. Those two actually advocate it and try to force it through astrological means so that they can continue their funding and continue their platform. So those two, I do not trust them. You know, for him, I don't know. He looks like he might have some information there. I would have to. There, not a lot of information's coming up on him, which I find interesting. I'd probably have to go on DuckDuckGo.
Pinterest CEO Bill Ready recently penning an article comparing social media's use of artificial intelligence creating addicts to big tobacco.
So,
Warning label.
Consumers need to have more understanding of what content are being shown. Consumers have less
interesting. No, I'd have to do more research. I'm not going to give an opinion because I'm not sure about him. But I'm just saying, like, when you start looking at different alignments with different people, Janine Morgay goes on there. That name sounds familiar. Queen of Ravens is Janine, and It's Not Like You, and David Palmer. Oh, okay. See, I don't know. I sometimes don't follow some of these. Like I look at some of their stuff and
Like Bark and That Nanny that can help you monitor and filter which content your kids see. These aren't free, but they can detect behavior and they'll send you automatic alerts if there's a concern. And George, there's also the modeling good behavior. I'm looking across and seeing Robin and Lyra on their phones right now. You're on your phone too, George.
oh,
We all do it. So
yeah, she's fluffy.
try to curb it a little bit. That's very helpful.
But
I just can't help myself, you guys.
yeah,
YouTube, George.
see, okay, this is the thing. When I just looking at them, I don't follow these people. Just looking at them, I just also, then I start to that they are very persuaded to see, okay, when you're with the Pisces energy that's coming in right now, that's where you're going to find a lot of people. Yes, they're going to come out and they want to say the right things, but have they done the work to create a community? Have they really wanted to promote a community that is of truth, of a community that really wants to help others to grow, and not being afraid to call shit out? Where I feel like for her, I'm not saying I don't know her, but that does she really want to call people shit out? Does she want to say, hey, you know what? You got to clean this. You got to be accountable for your crap. This is about accountability. Are you really stepping in? You got to own 100% of your reality and not sell out. And I think, when I'm looking at these two people, they could be easily sold out, very easily sold out, and not stay to their backing of their truth. And sometimes that's a hard thing. That's a hard thing to do, you know, in staying to your truth, you know. I don't, I try and I'm just looking at a few things here.
My folded down jacket and my cup. It comes in a bunch of different colors and it's under $50. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah. I find everybody has to find their alignment of what feels right for them, kind of thing. And the thing is that the first one, I'd be cautious with him because of who he's aligning with, and that goes down to where's the money coming from. I know with the twins and a lot of things that they do, their backing is with the company that starts with a P. So with the other one, I've never heard of her, but that doesn't mean diddly squat, because I run in my own little bubble. And I end up listening to people like uh Rick Levine and Kay Pacha and David Palmer. Those, I mean, Gemini Brett. These are people that I know that are very authentic and live to their truth of what they do, and they don't sell out. And same with there's even when you're looking at some psychics and stuff like that, where you're going to find a lot of them aren't going to be coming out to say that they're truth. I mean, this is why I get hacked. This is why I've lost so much of my audience and things along that line. And it is coming out where my algorithm with what I do doesn't reach the masses of where it should reach, right? David just got his I think he got his Instagram back, but they suspended him for what, I don't know, because he hasn't said anything really controversial on Instagram lately. And same with his fiance, who just posts old model pictures and cutesy wootsy little pictures and crystals. Nothing controversial. But the thing is that it's like, I remember with Doreen, I'm going to go with Doreen. Like, I remember when she started to change and her energy started to change, and some of the things that she wrote in her early days, you could see that authenticity with what she wrote and within her cards. The stuff that she started writing later on, especially when she really, nothing against Jesus. I really love Jesus, but really getting on the Jesus kick and finding, and really hanging on to the Bible, that there's nothing else. There's nothing else out there. There's no, that you can't be shamanic, you can't do crystals, you can't do anything else. And without really fully understanding and going into the whole history of everything in those areas, because they did believe in crystals, they did use these types of things. So this is where you'll find a lot, especially when this energy comes in with Saturn in there for 2.5 years with Pisces or with Neptune, and he's going to be with Neptune all the way into 2027 into Aries. That's that's huge. That's his eldest son. That's his son who has issues with his father because his father didn't really ate him. He didn't get the recognition that his younger brother got, Zeus. So there's this energy that's there that's very controversial, right? And we're going to see some of this controversial energy come out, where it's like, am I really being recognized for who I am, or am I have a chip on my shoulder and I need to take that chip off? Like, am I continually being a victim? I know sometimes, yes, we are victims of things. Things happen. Shit goes sideways on us, and it sometimes you just have to sit down, cry, scream, and say, what the fuck? And then get up and move forward from there. It's how you take the energy and how you move forward with some of these. And I find that they want to stay in the fluffy lane. They don't want to bring things concrete. And when you look at angels and you look at other things, they're not fluffy. They're not. Angels are like, what the fuck? Get in the other lane. What are you doing over there? They'll let you know if you want to listen to them or not. That's, again, that is up to you. But that's not the thing is that everything in our life is predetermined in many ways because of where the planets are. They're going to move a certain way. There's a certain energy that comes in. How we react to that energy is up to you. That's sort of the choice that you make, and the lessons that you learn. Are you going to learn from these lessons and grow and expand and move forward, or are you going to stay in where it's nice and safe and not allow yourself to grow? With the one woman that that you brought up, I think she probably does a lot of good for people, but I think that there's just something like she's not fully allowing herself to be her true authentic self, even though she feels she is. um I know money's important. Money's important to both of them, and money's important to me too. But it is their definition of why they do what they do, kind of thing. It is a fine line, especially when you work in spirituality and you're wanting to promote and make this your living. Um, Money does have to have a factor, but I feel there's a difference between that and selling out your truth. Where I know David won't sell out his truth. Like, he'll say, fuck it, I'm not doing that because that's not what I believe in. So there is that part within it, right? So looking at that truth of you, looking at the truth of you know will you sell out? And I feel like a lot of people that are going to be coming out, especially within the spiritual realm, they're going to fucking sell out because they're going to be scared as shit with more of the information that's coming out, and what they're trying to do between the 15-minute cities and the WHO and all of that. And it's like, where are you going to bend? Like, are you going to bend to that? And that's, that's the hard facts, you know and when it comes to, this is why I love astrology. It's facts. This is what it does. Saturn has a cycle within cycles, and that's how Nostradamus did his predictions. He did the hardest predictions because he studied, oh, well, okay, now Saturn's going to come back here in 28 years, but maybe not to that part. How many years does it take Saturn to get back into Pisces? 7 plus 7 plus 7, like those 7-year cycles. So he did that, and he did the math to figure out, okay, well, when it comes in here, and this is going to be in this age, this time, this is what I can see what will happen, because that's what happens when these planets get together. We're living out right now we lived out the the Saturn Pluto conjunction in Libra. That was AIDS. We've lived that out. We've come to see that cycle of what that was, and how we've come to sort of like a full circle of that for when they met in Capricorn. This is a cycle we're going to be living with for some time. This cycle of what it means with the propaganda and the corruptions within the government and the corporations, and the push that the governments and the corporations make upon us when it comes to that energy. And as I said, Pluto and Saturn are the mafia brothers. They are the ones. You want to go here? Cool. Okay, but there's going to be payment that you have to pay in going there. If you don't, if you come to Saturn, you say, hey man, I don't get it. I really want to make some changes. Saturn says, okay, let's go. He opens those doors. He brings you that energy in. He allows for that to come in. Same with Pluto. Pluto says, when you surrender to what it is that you don't know, or what it is that you are working on, and you are just like, I need to dig a hole and I don't have a shovel. Well, okay, you don't have a shovel. Maybe you have a stone. Maybe you have something else. Maybe you got to dig it with your hands instead of stressing on what it is that you don't have. See, that's the whole thing. It's like, people get so afraid that I'm going to go without, instead of looking at what can I do? How can I create? How can I make something? And that's where the energies are. And when we come into Saturn from Aquarius into Pisces, it's going to be carrying on. Did you create the communities that you wanted to create? Are you connecting with the people that need to be connected with in your life, that are bringing forth a spiritual enlightenment, not only for yourself, but for them? And are you living your truth and walking in that truth and that light of who and what you came to be? And sometimes that's a hard thing. I'm going to go through the next 20 years with Pluto squaring all my fucking shit in Scorpio. That's not easy. It's not an easy one. By the time I'm finished, I'm going to be what, 80? By that time, I'm just going to be like, all right. But this is the hard truths that are going to be coming in of saying, are you standing in with your boundaries? Are you living that truth and that light from your light from that, right? Because Scorpio's in my 5th house, which is ruled by Leo, which is ruled by the sun. It comes in. Are you living your truth in your light? And now we have these, you're going to have people that are going to show up that are going. You're just going to have to really trust your own intuition. And especially if you're searching and you're scrambling, this is when you come back to your basics of what do you know? What do I know that works for me? Okay, I'm going to pull out my tarot. I'm pulling out my angels. I'm pulling out this crystal. Why this crystal? This is like a chewed. I call it my doggy chewed crystal, but it's one that it's on my table. And it's like I have to hold it whenever I go online, whenever I do something, I'm holding this crystal. So this is the thing. It's like coming back to the things that you know. It could be that you're pulling off an old book that you worked on in 1997, and you're saying, yeah, okay, this is, I need to go back to this. Maybe it's going through the Journey Club when you went to the Journey Club with me, or whatever other courses, the karmic release and things like that. Maybe there's things that you have to go back and revisit in order for you to get more grounded, more rooted in what it is in your own truth. And the thing is that the answers are within you, and you got to trust those answers that are within you. I know my last few ones, it's like I really try, and I'm trying to really not be political on my platform. I'm really trying to bring in forth more light, more love. But sometimes you just have to step out and be within your truth and be that truth of who you are. And this energy, I'm going to say this week, it's crazy. There's going to be a lot of sloppiness. Mercury wants to move fast ahead. We have semi-squares, with Chiron and Saturn. That's standing in. What are those hurts that you have, maybe with the community, maybe with others, because it's still in Aquarius. Maybe with humanity, maybe you have issues with humanities in some way, and you've been hurt by it, and you feel like you have to work it out. Well, now guess what? You got another 2.5 years to work that shit out when it comes to Pisces and Saturn. So anyways, love you all. I have to go. Steve has a doctor's appointment, so we have to get going, and I have to find a parking spot downtown. So I want you all to trust in your intuition. Pisces is all about intuition, trusting that intuition, trusting that truth within you, because you have it. You are the light. You are the ones. And sometimes we will feel lost, but know that the light, and calling Archangel Michael, calling the angels, and ask them to surround you in all that you say and all that you be and all that you do. And don't let that sway you. Don't let little false prophets, because they look good and they got 4,000, 5,000, or 50,000 followings. That means fuck all in the long run. That means fuck all in the long run. You go back and you start seeing, are they truly living their truth and authenticity with what they do each and every day? Sometimes, yeah, if they're not, sometimes you got to come back out and you got to say, hey, you know what? I really fucked up. But if they're not willing to own their fuck ups, there's something there. All right. Have a blessed one, everybody. And may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you in all that you say and all that you be and all that you do. Blessed be. And we will talk to you all soon. Bye-bye. Oh, I got a sale. Buy a reading. There's my promotion, because Mama wants to have her business grow, and Mama wants to be able to come out here more for you. So you're buying a reading is helping to support me in order to put gas in the car, keep the lights on, and keep going and doing what I do. And plus, I still work a muggle job. God bless.